Today's scene is a similar one to 2 years ago when a gunman walked into the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs. That's near San Antonio in November 2017. There, 26 people were shot and killed and 20 others were injured. In this case, the gunman was shot by a civilian as he left the church. After that Sutherland Springs church shooting, changes came to state law. In September, a new Texas law went into effect that removed churches, synagogues, and other places of worship from the state's list of locations where guns are not allowed. Churches can still individually ban guns. Another thing churches can do is train for active shooter situations. And after recent similar events here in East Texas, church leaders and law enforcement offices have been preparing in case anything like this were to happen here. The Palestine Police Department continues to hold training, teaching congregations on what to do if a shooter comes through their doors. We spoke to the former police chief there before a recent session.
You don't have to stay there thinking that maybe you run, get away from the attacker. Get as far away as you can. The other one is if you fight with everything you have. Use anything that is around you.
The former chief says because a mass shooting can happen at any moment, every second matters. In Washington, D.C. is where our team coverage continues tonight. There, since this summer, lawmakers have been trying to get religious groups more money to combat the rising threats many of them have faced. KETK's Washington correspondent Raquel Martin has more.
From the 2015 brutal murder of worshipers at a Charleston, South Carolina church, the 2017 bombing of a Minnesota mosque, and the 2018 shooting massacre of Jewish people at a Pittsburgh synagogue, FBI statistics show hate crimes targeting places of worship have spiked in America over the last 3 years.
It's a unfortunate and tragic fact of life now that people go to houses of worship and they have been attacked.
While Congress remains gridlocked on gun reform, Democrat Senator Gary Peters is pushing a plan to send millions of more dollars to religious groups and nonprofits threatened by a rise of domestic terrorism.
It's sad to say, but we have to make sure that those organizations can defend themselves.
The 5-year grant program would set aside $75 million for religious groups or other nonprofits. They could then use that money for training, alarm systems, or to hire security guards.
We have to fight back against this.
Travis Weber with the Christian-based Family Research Center joins groups like the NAACP and the Jewish Federation in welcoming the initiative.
It's improper and wrong. It should be condemned by all Americans. Every American should be free to choose their religious beliefs and live them out in peace.
Unlike those groups who blame the president's rhetoric for the spike in attacks, Weber credits the administration for advancing religious freedom.
And they're trying to promote this worldwide.
Peter's plan is receiving support from both sides of the aisle, but lawmakers admit it won't solve the problem of hate in America. Right now, they're working on a series of bills to address the broader issue. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
The first mass shooting in an American church happened here in East Texas nearly 4 decades ago. Back in 1980, shooter Alvin King came into danger-filled First Baptist Church and began shooting. He killed 5 people and injured at least 10. Several guns were found along with the helmet King was wearing. He also had a pack stuffed with more than 200 rounds of ammunition. Officials say King was enraged at some members who declined to testify on his behalf in court. He committed suicide before he could be convicted. Again, tonight, the person that was in the hospital died, bringing today's toll to 2 people after the shooting. The gunman is also dead after being shot and killed by parishioners. Authorities are expected to reveal all their identities tomorrow.